Hey, hey, hey. How are you? How's everybody? Welcome to the Upper Room. Once again, this is Eugene Holden, and I am your host, and just excited to be here. I want to start off by saying this. Good morning or evening, friends. Here's your friendly announcer. I have some serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say can mean the world's disaster, can change your joy and laughter into tears and pain. And that is, love is in need of love today. Now, for some of you, you may recognize that as the first verse to Stevie Wonder's song, Love is in Need of Love Today, back in 1976. So what I've been working with and looking at more intently over the last few months, if not more, is what's been popular, right? What's popular? The new iPhone is popular. The new show on Netflix is popular. Watching whatever on TV is popular, or whatever the new gadget or car is, right? But what's not as popular is love. Love has become an unpopular thing, right? And it's the thing that we need most. As Jackie DeShannon said, I believe back in the 1900s, 1965 to be exact, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. Right. So to help me with this conversation is my dear, beautiful brother, my dear brother, Reverend Stephen Rambo. Let me switch that over there. There we go. Yeah. Good morning. Yeah, right. Otherwise, if I don't switch it, then I'm under or over Stephen Rambo.
That's me. That's my name, man. That's my name.
So when you said a half an hour, you see, this is why I say, well, we can get going. And the next thing we know, how are you, my dear brother?
I'm wonderful, Eugene. Beautiful. I'm grateful to be here, to have this opportunity to have an exchange and conversation and dialogue together. And I find I'm going to be I bristle. I bristle at your contention.
Good.
State your contention again. I just want to see if it bristles a second time. Your contention is
that love's in need of love. That it's unpopular for right now. Well, it's unpopular and has been.
That's the part, the unpopular part. I don't know if it's unpopular. Now, what may be the challenge in my mind about this is the word itself. I love the dictionary.
Oh man, right?
And how many definitions there can be for various words. I'm not sure that we might need to clarify the term, because a lot of people, I love an iced tea on a sunny afternoon after I've been working in the yard in the middle of August. I love a nice warm jacket when I'm walking down the street in Minnesota in January. But I also love my partner. I love my mother, my father, my brother. So all these various ways that we use that word love, I think love is very popular. So maybe we need to figure out what definition of love might not be the one might not be showing up.
Right. I love that. I love that.
See, you just use it right there.
Right. Right.
So we use love in all, like or or oh, or
right.
Or like.
So could it be the love that I'm speaking of is deeper than how we usually use the term? Like what I just said, I love that, right? But do I have that same excitement about, I love that person whose ideas may be different than mine?
Mm-hmm. There is the rub. I believe that in that case, what I'm picking up is we, in Science of Mind, we talk about separating the belief from the believer. Because we begin to believe things about ourselves.
Ain't that the truth?
That are a response to the thoughts we have about ourselves. And so we begin to think, I love in Spanish, they say that they don't say, I am hungry. because they're not hungry. They say, I have hunger.
Right.
I have it. We become the I am this, which is why we talk about the being careful with I am in our affirmational work. So if a person has a belief that is different than mine, I see their belief, or I could potentially conceive their belief as their personality, as their personhood, as their expression of God. So a person who has conservative values is a conservative person, and therefore, I'm just picking that one out of the way, out of the air. I have a problem one way or the other with conservatism. There are areas where I'm quite conservative in my life, But my challenge with the love thing is, and I think the challenge many people have is, I see the thing they believe in as the thing that they are. And if I don't believe in the thing that they believe in, then I don't believe in the thing that they are, and therefore I cannot love them. And so we must separate, I think, the loving person from the thing that they love. And then we get down to that deeper element, that core that I think you're really referencing, is the unique individualized expression that is life itself, coming through all these diverse creatures, beings, essences.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting word, love, right? Because I love playing percussion. And some people love their cars, right? Or whatever right? So we're talking about diving into, a force, or an element, or a feeling that transcends and then also connects us all. That's the love that I'm referring to. And yes, I love my family. I love, and all of that, and there's more. I love the way you put that. If I don't love a person's ideology, then maybe I don't love who they are.
Yeah, it's and it's really about me. What I'm really trying to define is that we think that person's ideology is that person,
right?
And beliefs change and morph, and we're not the same person today that we were yesterday. So I can't do that.
Ain't that the truth?
And I think we also are quite. I want to use the word victimized, what's the word? Inoculated with the ideas that that come through songs. I mean, my grandfather used to say, I never could find the love that I hear on the radio. The love songs on the radio. He also had another phrase that I like to say, I could never heard an ugly woman sing a song on the radio either. Because when he loved the song, he envisioned the person being a certain way. When we love someone, we see them in the most highest element we possibly can. And if the process of what they're expressing is not helping me feel that highest element of who they are and what they are, then I'm beginning to diminish that person. And therefore, I can't love something that is ugly. But maybe we can. So I think that also draws me into another idea. And this is I know you're the question person, I'm the answer person today, but I don't think so. We got a dialogue, brother.
It's a conversation.
Here's the deal. Here's a question for you. Is unconditional love possible?
I'm glad you went there, because I was going to go there. And I say yes. Let me give you my reason why. For me, I define unconditional love as this: that I love you I love you for who you are, no matter what you do or don't do, no matter what you say or don't say. I hold space for you in my heart. I love, so unconditional love means, no matter what you say or do or don't say or do, I'm going to love you regardless. And what that points to, though, Stephen, is separating the person from the behavior, right? Because a person can behave whatever way, right? But they are not their behavior. That's what unconditional love. I would be lying if I said that I'm there, and I am there sometimes. Right.
Yeah.
So is it possible? I believe so. Yeah. What do you say?
I
Same
struggle.
question.
I struggle with it because, as you describe that, you see, I have to define what unconditional love is.
Right.
That definition then becomes a condition of the love.
Hmm.
So I don't think unconditional love is actually possible.
Hmm.
I think a full holistic form of love is possible. That's a conditional love. Howard K. Smith used to say, great journalist, you say, I am not unbiased. I'm not objective, but I am fair. And he would go on to say, if you ask an objective person, what do you think of this beer? It's okay. So okay, it's not. It's good. It's not good. It's all right. So not. It's okay. So it's not okay. It's más y menos. The objective person really can't make a decision because it's just objective. But the fair person understands their biases, their beliefs, their persuasions, and then can make a decision in full awareness of all the stuff. And this is why we have to keep doing our work. We must continually do our treatment work, our affirmation work, our moments in silence.
Yeah.
Listening to the still small voice that sometimes acts as a loud scream or a soft whisper. We must go into those spaces to do what Socrates has not been. No one's been able to rewrite this phrase any better than he did. Know thyself. If we don't do that, and I think that's part of the thing around your first contention and your hypothesis for this whole conversation. Most of us don't spend enough time knowing who we are.
So bringing it back to unconditional love, do you think it's possible you to love this one, to love yourself unconditionally?
I think I have to hold my space on that and say no, I don't think so because I'm going to have as a result of my journey through Humanville, I have experiences, I have opinions, I have feelings, I have understandings, I have traumas that I'm working through, I have joys that I've experienced, I have happiness and pain. I have a Frankie Beverly song playing in my brain. I have all of that stuff that's working through me that I have to then determine, am I in integrity with my beliefs? And those moments of what defines my level of integrity are my conditions. So I think at some point I will have to go back to having some kind of small print, some kind of fine print to define, to explain, to understand the love that I'm talking about. Because it's only the one word love. It's not like the Eskimos with 22 words for snow. And we just got one word for it. The Greeks tried to do it when they came up with agape and philia and the other two forms, which I cannot remember right now. They tried to make an effort toward that. But in the American English language, we just fall back on love. So we have all these degrees to it. And because of all those degrees, I think we are left without the purest form, which is in an ideal way, and from a philosophical perspective, I can totally see the concept of an unconditional love. But in practice, I don't know how the human experience, which is tied in to up and down, left and right, yes and no, complementary pairs of opposites in order to have the human experience. I don't know how we can separate the human experience from this idealized unconditional love, which becomes a thorn, a club that can be used against us because you're not being unconditionally loving. It's just dangerous for me, a dangerous place. I would like to help people find their. Does it find everything? Is it Rumi that says this? Find everything that is not love and take that away. Find all the stuff that blocks you from it, because those are your conditions. Those are your areas that are getting in the way.
Listening to you talk as we're having this conversation, this dialogue, the question that I just wrote down is unconditional love really acceptance?
Oh.
Right. So I was saying earlier that I love you no matter what you say or don't do or don't do. I think for me, it's the same way. And also when I point to myself, Eugene, I love you no matter what you have done or not have done, said or not have said. So I think what I'm really saying there is I accept that person for who they are, where they are, even they may be doing some dumb shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think acceptance is a strong part of it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
In the formerly smoke-filled rooms in the back of churches where people study numbers 1 through 12, they say that acceptance is the answer to all my problems today.
Right.
If I find something unacceptable in my life, it is because I have not allowed myself to do what you just talked about doing.
Right.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Acceptance is a huge part of it. And even then, it continues. I still go back to the place of I must study, I must understand, I must journal, I must think about this, because where does acceptance become doormatted? So we have to be really careful. I think so we have all these wonderful tools that have been given to us throughout time. The serenity prayer being one of the most amazing. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and the courage to change the things I can. So right there is some space for breaking myself from just rolling over and saying, yeah, well, I accept you because really? Yeah. Would we be celebrating the 60th anniversary of Dr. King's great speech on the mall? If that were the case, would we still be listening to that Stevie Wonder song you talked about in 1976? It is still as prevalent, urgent, and wonderful as it was today. Would we still be listening to Marvin Gaye, What's Going On, written in 1970? That Mercy, Mercy Me, the ecology is still as powerful a lyric as ever written. So this human experience that we're having here, the spiritual journey in this earth suit, is fraught with the opportunity to keep remembering, because we're not going to get it.
Yeah,
we're not going to. We'll touch it, but it's like a stove. It's so hot. As soon as you touch it, like, ooh, got to take your hand off. It's that pure love you're talking about. The people that have had it, they string them up.
right. And I think one of the reasons that they get strung up is because they're being the voice, the catalyst to the rest of the population, saying, hey, listen, this is what this is about, and you can do it too. Oh, hell no, we're not going to have that message get out. String them up.
Yeah. Not only that, and because again, so many of us are struggling through our own stuff, through our own BS, our own belief systems, that it's really hard to hear that message and not internalize it as being something wrong with me, which gets us into, it's part of the conversation, but I think it's an undercurrent of the conversation, and that is the idea of white-bodied supremacy that we hear so much about and that we're trying to talk about. And people who hear that immediately, response is, but I'm not a racist.
Right.
No one said you were. What we're saying is there's a system in place. So we don't have a way, many of us have not found a way to separate these concepts from our being.
Right.
In a way that we can now begin to dialogue about and move forward.
Right.
And some of that, I think, requires chunking, taking them down. I could say 818-761-5259213, and it's like, what? But if I chunk it, that's actually a phone number. But if I chunk it, 818-761-5259. Boom. We need to chunk some of these big concepts, particularly this huge one that you're wanting to tackle. Love. Chunk it down into bite-sized pieces. What? Right? How to eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Why would you eat an elephant? I don't know. But
if the elephant will let you, but yeah. One of the things you've said about acceptance, right? Because I'm transferring or blending unconditional love with acceptance, and then you said, you want to be careful. We want to be careful that we don't become a doormat. And But if I allow myself to be a doormat, then that's not loving me.
Mm.
Right. So when I chunk it down, right? Because if I'm allowing myself to be a doormat and that's my choice, right? The great gift of choice, great gift. Sheesh. Because I'm choosing that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to accept you for who you are. And if who you are is a part of, for me to accept who you are as being who you are, then I have to be a doormat. Well, okay, but then I'm not loving me. I accept you, but I'm going to accept you from way over there and have the courage enough to say that doesn't work for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whew, this is deep, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where the rubber meets the road.
Right. And so when I say that it's not popular, well, I guess what I am really referring to is because it is deep and that's where the rubber meets the road. It's not popular to do that level of work for a lot of folks.
Well, yeah, of course, because there's no pill for it.
There's no pill.
There's no pill. There's no DIY YouTube that I can watch in 3 minutes and 32 seconds. Tell me about it. I'm not going to get it on one trip to a practitioner or one day on the couch with a therapist or one book. I'm not going to get out of one anything.
Right.
So that and hey, there's 8 more episodes of 1923 getting ready to drop, and then there's another episode of next on Netflix, and the series is getting ready to drop, and oh wait, there's a sale this week on Amazon. So there's so many distractions in life.
Right.
It's very hard for us to spend the time. I noticed that even for myself here lately, I've been trying to put more silence in my life.
Yeah.
Because I love music. And I find that I almost always have music playing. And I realized recently, sometimes I'm not listening to the music that's playing. It's just on. And what came from that is sometimes I am not listening to the music of life that it's playing. It's just on. Can I be in a silent space of simply full awareness? I've been pushing this idea now that I call awarefulness. Since people talk about mindfulness a lot, I see that mindfulness is something that happens in your head, to me. But awarefulness is this present moment that I'm in, feeling the chair that I'm sitting on and the floor that's holding me up, and that you just put my name on the screen. That the garbage trucks has finally gone by, and I don't have to be concerned anymore about whether the sound is bleeding through into this, but I know it's not because of the power of duplexing microphone systems, which monitor the sound and directionally, proportionately take away the excess sound. I know all that's happening, but in awarefulness, I can be present to all that all at the same time. The light comes from you, the fact that you look like you're an angel with this halo going behind you. I mean, I know that you're not an angel, but sort of. Because I know you, I see you, but all of that, and I think if we can be in a walking space of awarefulness, it's like the temperature in this room is so perfect right now. I don't even feel the air against my skin. That kind of awarefulness can put me in a place where perhaps I can approach the seam, the garment, the seamless garment of unconditional love.
Yeah.
Moment and touch it. And so that it turns around and says to me, who is it that just touched me? Must be healed. And I can be healed. That can happen, but it's only going to happen in the quiet space of me with me with me with me with you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Awarefulness. I love that. It takes my mindfulness to a deeper level. Let me be aware.
That's my
aware.
That's my intention behind that word, using that word that way. Yes.
Yeah. Like you, I love music and I love sound. And one of the most fascinating sources of sound to me are birds.
Mm. I wake up
Because
to bird song every morning and just thank God for it. Just grateful for bird song.
right, right. And if you become aware, just pick out the one song and become aware. Oh, there might be two or three other sounds within that, or right before it and after the main sound. It's like, wow,
Mhm.
let me be aware of that.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, then also what I've realized is if I connect with that sound, then I'm one with the source of that sound,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? Yeah,
Yes.
awarefulness.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I love this thing called life. It's amazing.
That's
It's
a
an
great book title. Somebody should write that
somebody should maybe you and I should collaborate,
on a rewrite of this thing called life, because it's
right?
already a pretty good book. But I'm just
Right.
hey,
This thing called life according to.
yes, right. Oh, there you go. There you go. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of my favorite books. Yeah, yeah. But life is really, really good. Really good. So yeah. Where are we going with this?
Oh, we've done it, haven't we? God, that goes
Yeah,
fast.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So
I mean,
let me ask you, how do you, because I believe that I think we're both thinking around the same idea. I think we just have different directions to get there on the unconditional love thing. Mine is to have a definition that I understand that allows me to express it, and yours, you shared yours as to that acceptance idea. But how do you practice it? What's a practical expression of your idea of unconditional love happening?
it all start from well, it all starts with me, right? Um, for example, let me become awareful. Let me get full of awareness. Let me become aware of how I'm thinking about myself. Let me become aware of how am I treating myself and how am I loving myself? Do I love myself unconditionally? Do I accept myself fully? As I answer that question or live that as I live the answer affirmatively. Wow, if I as I live the answer affirmatively, then I become not only an example out in the world, but then I become that magnet that draws folks in. That's something for me to dive into because right now they're just words and they feel good. But
Mhm,
I really want to know and be aware of what that really means
mhm,
and
mhm.
how it's showing up. So again, practice, practice, practice.
Yeah, yeah, we're all on our march to Carnegie Hall.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Practice, practice, practice.
that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
what I heard there was a lot of questions asked and a lot of curiosity. I think for me, that's where it happens. It happens in staying in the question,
Yeah.
and because once I give an answer, subject close. Answers
Mm.
generally end in a period, and there's no more after the answer. But questions in a question mark are open to being explained, to being defined, to being elaborated upon. And so, if I can stay in the question of whatever is showing up, and again, that sometimes reflects back to me. Why is this affecting me in that certain way, or what's making them think that way? But if I can stay in the question of it, I think I have a higher likelihood of getting to a space of what I want to call more pure and whole love
Hmm.
with fewer
Yeah.
conditions.
Yeah. Yeah. I love what you said, right? Staying in the question, and I was going to say and be open to the answer, but then question the answer. So
Yeah.
what does that mean? What is that really?
Mhm.
I was doing a meditation years ago when I was in Denver in this cabin that was up in the mountains. Great spot, great spot. And for a week, I was asking the question in my quiet time, what breathes this breath? Took a day or two or three to get the answer came up. It's like, okay, what breathes this breath is love.
Mhm.
Great answer. Okay, but why?
Mm.
Why is love breathing this breath? Oh, so for me, what came for me was so that love can experience life through me, because it's love gives, because breath is life. And then that, then spread out to, well, then love causes the sun to shine so the sun can give earth life, so love can experience life through everything and everyone on earth. It was so being in the question and then questioning the answers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This eternality, right?
Yeah. It's being in relationship,
Yeah.
That's another component, I think, of this love concept we're talking about: acceptance, but also being in relationship, being in relation to
relationship. Yeah.
Being a part of it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out today and be loving, man. I'll be like,
right?
Yeah. We're walking past people that are gonna want to light up a cigarette, not even understand why.
Right. Was it good for you? Yeah, it must have been.
I think you catch that.
Woo-wee. Cigarette time. Reverend Stephen Rambo. So here's, if anybody out there wants to get in touch with my dear brother, and you really do want to get in touch with my dear brother, here's his contact information, right? Oh, over there. There we go.
Yes, over there.
Over there.
Very good.
And what would you want to leave folks with? What do you want them to know?
The winning mega numbers for the week are.
Besides that,
what I really would love to leave people with is just knowing that you are enough, and that enough is enough. Enough is enough. We are searching for more, and in our teaching we talk about the expansion and the growth, and there's always more. Ask for this or something better, something higher. That's fine. Not shutting that down, but also remember, enough is full. The word is enough. When you've eaten enough, you don't eat anymore. So you are enough, just as you are. Love yourself as you are.
Beautiful, brother. Thank you so much for saying yes to having this conversation with me, and I hope that you would want to come back when I reach out, because we have a good time.
Of course, anytime. Yes. If you ever find yourself in California on the third Friday of the month, bring your drum, because we got a drum circle.
Boom, bam, tap, doom. Okay. Yeah. All right, my brother.
Love you, man.